Hey, everybody in Facebook world, good morning. It seems like the big story is Harambe the gorilla. Hope I said his name right. Harambe is how it's spelled. Um, anyway, so that is the big story. Everybody seems to have an opinion. Everybody seems to be an expert. And well, I have my opinion. It's a little much to type out, but something I feel a little strongly about. And just wanted to share my opinion of this whole thing. It's obviously horrible and terrible all around what happened. Terrible that this gorilla had to be put down. I believe it's an endangered species, maybe 9 males of this kind of gorilla left in the world or something like that. And yeah, absolutely horrible that this had to happen. But I look on Facebook and I look at all these memes that are being shared and all these posts that are being posted and shared, and you go on Twitter and just the absolute vitriol and horrible things being tweeted about this kid's mother. I find it very unsettling, very disheartening. I wasn't there. As far as nobody I know was there, and 99% of the world, posting and tweeting about this wasn't there. And, this mother obviously at some point, took her eye off her kid. When you're out someplace in a big public place like that and your child goes missing and wandering off, yeah, of course, you bear some responsibility for that. But, just the level of hatred and vitriol being spewed at this woman and how she's being absolutely eviscerated, I think it's unfair, and I think it's honestly quite disgusting. To act like we all know that this woman just is a totally unfit parent, just wasn't watching her kid at all, letting the kid wander off and do whatever he wanted to do and go wherever he wanted to. We don't know that. And I think, a lot of people who are parents, they know it takes a second, 2 seconds to look away. And kids, man, they're quick. They're very, very quick, and they can be very determined. To be walking through the zoo and maybe look over at a thing of lions and say, hey, look, Bobby, look at the lions. And at 2 seconds, you're looking at the lions and Bobby was right next to you, and then Bobby takes off. It happens. And just the way people are tweeting at this woman, saying that, next time they should shoot the mother. That's horrible. If there's video footage of this kid wandering all around and the mother just doing everything in the world but looking after her kid, well, then maybe some of that's necessary, maybe it's called for. But I think everyone is just jumping the gun. Everyone's a keyboard demigod. Everyone is the greatest parent in the world. And kids they're quick. And some kids, the truth is, some kids they're little fucks. And don't get me wrong, I'm not defending the mother. I'm not saying she did everything right. Obviously she didn't. Obviously you take your 4-year-old kid out somewhere, to a mall, to a zoo, to a sporting event, and they go missing even for a minute. Yeah, obviously you've got to keep a closer eye on your kid. So obviously the mother, and I guess the father was there, I'm not sure, they dropped the ball, and some responsibility falls on them. But just how mean-spirited and just disheartening people can be, it's kind of sick. I mean, calling for the mother to be shot, calling her a bitch, calling her an unfit mother. I mean, just imagine this mother's walking through the zoo, her kid, who I was probably right next to her at one point, she turns around, the kid's not there, how horrifying that feels. And then to see your kid in an enclosure being dragged around by a gorilla, and then, you go online and 90% of the world is just calling you mean, horrible, disgusting things. I don't get it. It's not me. I don't get it. I actually feel bad for this mother. Obviously she screwed up at some point, but I feel bad for her. I feel bad that, you got, John Fugel going on Twitter saying, if I ever let my kid in a gorilla enclosure, shoot me. Well, the message there is they should have shot the mother. And plus, that's so insanely stupid on so many levels. So let the kid, good chance the kid's going to get killed down there. And then shoot me so I'm dead. I mean, that's just stupid. D.L. Hewley tweeted something about if you leave your kid in a car, you can be charged with negligence, and you should be if you let your kid wander off, into a gorilla enclosure. Well, one was willful. One was you put your kid in the car and left them there. The mother didn't put her kid in the gorilla enclosure. And, he's a comedian. He's trying to be funny, but it's stupid. How many hundreds, maybe thousands, millions of kids at some point or another have ran out into traffic. All right. And whether the kid was okay, whether the kid got hurt, whether the kid caused an accident by cars trying to stop and swerve around the kid. What do? Do we all go on Twitter and Facebook and post what a horrible, disgusting parent you are because your kid ran out into traffic? Like I said, kids are quick and kids can be little fucks. And, it's summertime's coming up, unfortunately it's very sad, but there's going to be a kid who goes out and drowns in the pool. It's going to happen. And yeah, it could be because the parents didn't do everything they could have done to keep that kid safe. And it's very likely that there'll be reason to fault and blame the parents because they could have done things differently. But so the next time that we read a story or hear a story in the news that a kid drowned in a pool, are we all going to go on Facebook and Twitter and post about what horrible, disgusting piece of shit and negligent parents they are? I mean, this woman just had to watch a gorilla, drag her kid through the water, and then, we're all going to go on Facebook and just tell her what a disgusting piece of shit she is. I don't know. I don't like it. It doesn't sit well with me. Sorry, that's just me. And as far as the gorilla, very sad they had to put the gorilla down. I wish we didn't have to, but we did. And, people are posting all over Facebook, all over Twitter. It wasn't necessary, blah, blah, blah. You know what? It was necessary because a tranquilizer doesn't work instantaneously. It's got to go through the bloodstream. And you're taking a risk by shooting it with a tranquilizer. Now you're just going to agitate it and piss it off. And I'm of the opinion that even if the mother took the kid and threw him into the enclosure, that the life of a 4-year-old takes precedence over any endangered species, regardless. And I'm sorry if that's not politically correct or not the right thing to say, but when it comes to a 4-year-old child, you don't fuck around. You just don't. And, I know everyone's saying it looks like the gorilla was protecting the child. Yeah, but you people aren't animal experts. Well, maybe you are because you're all acting like it. All of a sudden everyone's a zoologist, everyone's an expert on gorillas, and I'm pretty sure the zookeepers at the zoo, they know better. And Jack Hanna, Jane Goodall, even they agreed that once the kid got in there, that's the right thing to do. You had to put that gorilla down, unfortunately. And you can definitely be sad that this event had to happen. Blame the zoo too. Blame the parents and blame the zoo for making it even possible for a kid to get into this enclosure. How the hell does that happen? That's who I would be most upset at, is the zoo. But all right, well, that's my rant, and you all have a nice day.